Oh! Hello, fellow vapors. Vaping Newbie here, and we're going to be looking at some juices from, you saw it, Darkside Vapors. It is my night to howl. Nick procured this company, I believe it was late last year, but I'm not 100% sure of that, and decided to put his stamp right away on the flavors and started reformulating them and changing recipes slightly to something that's more in tune with him. So right off the bat, we wish him luck. And the link for the website down below. Go take a look. One of the things I love about the website, when you go on it, you see this. Any website that supports our services gets attention from me, and kudos to you. Apparently, once every while, they create a flavor and then they name it after a serviceman. So, double thumbs up for that. I love that idea. So, before we start talking about juices, taste is subjective. What you like, I might not. What I like, you might not. We always keep that in mind. These are only my opinions and what I take away from it. I'm going to be using basically two separate tanks. One is a Crown and one is a Cubist, as well as I will use a dripper just to get a different taste of the flavor. Got to try it. That's it. So please stay tuned. Let's look at the first darkness juice. Before we actually get to the flavors, I always like to look at the packaging. Now, I did get a note from Nick that they're working on new labelings that are going to have the warnings and everything. But let's look at the bottles and the information I did get. It's a basic ejuice bottle. They all came in sealed. How would you say, like protection? And childproof caps, the little nozzle on top. You know, I'm a person that highly believes in the childproof cap. Apparently all the warnings will be on there, but these all say 2 milligrams of nicotine and high VG or max VG. When I look at what one of the bottles has a checklist, and when they talk about VG, they go 60, 70, 80, and then max VG. So I was thinking that max VG was about 80%. So without further ado, let's get to it. Sorry, I had to do that. The first juice we're going to be looking at from the darkness line is called the Pumpkin King, and I love the look of that pumpkin on that. When the package came in, this was the first juice I chose. I usually do it randomly, but I chose this one specifically to try. I vape a lot of desserts, cakes, that type of vape, and saw this as a pumpkin spice vape. So loaded into my Crown, and like all the rest, 2 milligrams of nicotine, and listed as a high VG. So I'm assuming probably about 80% VG, and put it in my Crown, which is a 0.26 ohm coil it's reading, and I'm vaping it at 47 watts. The first thing that I noticed was the aroma. You really did smell that pumpkin spice. On the inhale, I found it very, very savory. Okay, you do get that pumpkin spice. I spoke with Nick about it because there were two things that were bothering me right off the top. I thought I had a bit of a chemical taste to it. And second of all, where was the cream? Because they advertised it as being with whipped cream, and I wasn't getting any of that. I loved Nick's answers. First off, he said, let it sit for a bit, let it steep for a bit, and did you shake it? And it's something, you know, when we're working with e-juices, or you're working with e-juices, sometimes you forget to shake up the e-juice before you put it in your tank or on your drip or something like that. But, I mean, as a rule of thumb, I follow that sort of rule. So I knew it wasn't shaking it. So I thought, I'll let it sit for a couple of days, which I've done before this video. And the second thing he said was, well, he didn't want to make it too heavy with cream. I sort of like that. A lot of juices are heavy with cream. However, even though it's a good idea, and I would like to say it's rather unique that he's trying to back off that cream and give you really more pumpkin spice. I do find that I wish I had just a little more whipped cream. Having said that, my office smelled like a pure bakery. I mean, the aroma was just really something. Um, Throat hit was slightly harsh for what I was surprised as a high VG juice, but that could be a cold I'm having, so I don't want to blame that on the juice. Okay, I was able to vape it without any issues whatsoever. Um, but here's the thing: if you're like me and you're going to do flavors and then switch out to a different flavor using the same coil head, because there's no real reason to not to do that. The pumpkin spice, that pumpkin stays in it, so you have to wash out the tank. Okay, that's my personal observation. Because when I finished that tank of Pumpkin King, I came back to put in another one of his juices back into the crown and thought I'll burn through the pumpkin spice on the coil, but I couldn't seem to get it out of the material of the tank. So I literally washed the tank out and wasted a wee bit of juice, because when I do the testing, I don't put a lot. I just put enough to give me a good taste of it. So I didn't waste a lot. Then I refilled the tank for the next juice, but it was washed out, dried, and I burnt through the coil and got the pure flavor of the next juice we're going to talk about. So keep that in mind. Pumpkin spice can lead you to need to wash out the tank after, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because hell, we should be doing that anyhow. So pumpkin spice, again, not being used to it, I found it very unique. It was a great break from my day. I enjoyed it, but I couldn't say I would enjoy this an all-day vape. I think it would be kind of hard for me to use that. But again, I don't believe in an all-day vape, so hey. So let's go on to our next juice, which is getting bloody. Okay, I love that picture. The next one up is called, and it's hard for my camera sometimes to pick this up, but Bloodlust. And look at the color of that. Put it in my Cubis, and the Cubis coil is, what's Cubis coil? 0.57. I'm vaping it at 30 watts. It's the maximum for this coil that they recommend. When I first got this in the crown, that's the one that I put in and I had to dump to wash out the crown. I put it back in. It took a couple of shots, but then I started getting the flavor. They talk about a couple of things. They talk about a blood orange. They talk about dragon fruit. I'm getting that, okay? I am getting that. Then they talk about the whipped cream. I'm not getting that again. So I want to say this, Nick, don't change it. It's nice on its own, okay? It's fine without the whipped cream. I think that would mess up. I always say prostitute the flavor. I think it would take away from it. Then they talk about a coolness. I'm not getting any coolness. A little sweetener is added, which I really am pleased about, okay? So smooth. Now, this is one of the juices. I'm going to switch out tanks. Okay, I got on my Vector dripper, and I'm wondering if any of the things that they talk about being the coolness and the whipped cream will pop more on the dripper, because I'm not getting it on the Cubis. I did not get it when it was on the in the crown. I have this as its 0.3 ohm coil, and I'm vaping it at 60 watts on the dripper. I'm still not getting that coolness, but you get that orange, blood orange flavor. It is really good. I am so enjoying Bloodlust. That is an odd thing to say on camera. So Nick, there literally is no need to change anything in this formula. It is really nice, okay? Let me change out some tanks. We're going to get to our next juice. Next juice we're looking at is called, I hope this picks up. There we go. Lichen. I am loving these labels. I love the whole idea behind it. Now, before I took this juice, I chugged nearly a full bottle of water, and you can see that. This was an unopened bottle of water. to clean up the taste buds, and I didn't want to get any kind of crossover. I have a cleaned out tank. I burnt off the coil, so we're back at the crown. And again, I want to remind you, it's about a point. What is it? 0.26 at 48 watts. I played with the wattage to try to get flavor on this because there's something, again, that I couldn't pick out. This is a blueberry Ejuice. Sorry about that. And again, I like quoting from the website because they're giving us their formula for it. It is, let me see, a blueberry with added crunch berry. You get that. That, without a doubt, you get that. Then it goes on to state that they added toasted marshmallow for a last flavor that will seal the deal. Um, and that's what caused me to chug the water because I'm not getting that toasted marshmallow. But it's good. It is really good. I am enjoying it. If I take it as a blueberry vape with a wee bit of cereal undertone, it's a winner. If I'm looking for the marshmallow, I feel like it's not there, regardless of what wattage I use, and I played up and down. But I don't think I would want the marshmallow, and that sounds odd. When I was reading the descriptions, one of the reasons it wasn't my first one based upon description, other than the fact that there was a pumpkin one, and I wanted to try it. But one of the reasons I thought toasted marshmallow is, in my opinion, that's really hard to replicate well. Because if you miss it, it comes out, in my opinion, just like a burnt taste. I'm not a juice maker. I just play one on TV. But the fact of the matter is, I wouldn't want a juice maker to try to replicate something that's going to make their juice bad. So I want to say, Nick, thank you. If it's in there, it's so minute that it's not coming across, which I appreciate. I like, if I'm going to vape a fruit flavored juice, I want to taste that fruit flavor. I don't want anything around with it, okay? And this did that. So lichen is really, really nice as a blueberry e-juice, okay? Let me change out tanks again. We're going to get to the next one. The next flavor. I hope you see this. It's called, it's going to be hard for the camera to pick it up because of the graphics. But trust me, it's called Demonica. And I went back to the Cubis, and you could see the sort of dark, almost like a brownish color, depending on lighting. But you can't fill a Cubis tank, but to the fill line. I've been vaping it, trying to figure it out, and it just sort of smacked me right in the face. They talk about a macadamia nut. I couldn't tell a macadamia nut from a cashew. I can tell that there is a nutty flavor in there. Then, after I take my toot and wait a couple of seconds, you start tasting a dark chocolate. A dark demon chocolate. But very lightly. It's not overpowering. And this one sort of worried me. I was going to save it for last, but it just, in the way I pull them out of the bag is how I do them. And I pulled this one out second to last, and I don't like chocolate vapes. And I thought, oh no, how am I going to deal with this? But it's not a chocolate vape. The chocolate is used as an underlying current to it, in my opinion. You do get in that inhale, I am getting a nutty taste. Wait a bit, and then you start tasting chocolate. But again, it's very light. It's not overpowering. If you like chocolate vapes, it's not that. The chocolate becomes secondary. But in my opinion, and again, I don't like chocolate vapes personally, but I think that if I was going to vape a chocolate vape, it'd probably be something like this because it's not overwhelmingly chocolate. It's very nice. Again, it's a for lack of a better term, diversion from what I'm used to vaping. So I think that plays a large part in the flavor itself. Um, I could see this as being when I get fed up with the baked vapes and that, and you're looking around for something different. This would definitely be something I would grab because I like to eat like peanuts, things like that. I mean, who doesn't, right? Unless you have an allergy, don't do it, right? But you got to keep that in mind too. I don't know if there's any kind of allergic thing. So Nick, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, maybe you can drop a note down below. But it's something to keep in mind. But having said that, I love the dark brown look of it. The taste is nice. Very smooth. And there's the chocolate. And that's what I like about it. It's not like in your face. You wait a couple of seconds, and if you're not a person like me that always has some pank or another popping in and out, it's something that's like a little nice surprise. And then it'll just go away. And then you take your next toot, and then it's back again. So good job on that. That is Demonica. Stick around. We got our last one coming up. Damn. Um, Witchcraft. Um, it's amazing. I've tried everything to replicate a black cherry vape. Never was successful as this. You go online, they talk about this and that, they talk about sweetener, they talk about whipped cream. I'm not getting whipped cream unless, again, it's just used as an underlying factor. They're talking about sweetener. Thank God I'm not getting sweetener. I'm getting black cherry. And in my opinion, it is glorious black cherry. They nailed this one. Don't, please, I beg you, don't change anything. This is black cherry. Again, it's in my crown. Really, really nice. Hang in there for a second. Yeah, I went to go get my velocity. I want to try some of this witchcraft on a dripper, and this is new cotton that I have, so I gotta try it. It is that good. Ejuice, it's good in the crown. Wow. Um, I might seem a bit over the top on this juice, but when you're trying to find that flavor, I've always liked cherry cola and black cherry. There's a place here in Montreal called the Montreal Pool Room. You go there for hot dogs and some fries and a black cherry. I mean, it's just something you should do if you're in Montreal. And I tried to replicate it myself. I'm not a mixologist, so I leave it to people like Nick to try to do it because the flavors I've added to mix them just wasn't coming out. This one is. Fogging up the place here. This is really, really nice juice. Good job, Nick. So that's it. Those are 5 flavors. We started with the Pumpkin King, which was a bit savory for my liking. It's just my liking. It doesn't mean it's not good. If you like pumpkin, you're probably going to like this. For me, I wish it was smoothed out a bit more with cream, but it is what it is. And if you're looking for pumpkin juice, that's the one. It was followed by Bloodlust, which I really enjoyed. I got it sitting in my Vector dripper right now, so I'm sort of eyeing it, thinking I'm probably going to switch back over there later. So I'll have a couple of drippers going. We went at Lichen, which was a blueberry vape, and didn't really expect anything more than a blueberry vape, and that's exactly what it was. It was as advertised. And then we went into Demonica, which worried me a bit because I don't like chocolate vapes, but the chocolate is so minute. The undertone is there that it's not heavy, so it was enjoyable. It is definitely going to be in my rotation. And then Witchcraft, which I cannot say enough about. When you're looking for juice that long, and then you get one that just hits right away. And you see that in Nick, and I can't compare these to anything before Nick reformulated them because I don't remember trying them, but it's been a lot of juice I've tried in the last couple of years doing these videos. So I apologize for that, but Nick, you're doing a really nice job in the formulas of these 5 juices, and I'm only going to base it on these 5. So keep up what you're doing, and I want to thank you for trusting me with what must be like your babies. And I've been talking a lot about Nick, and you see the affection that he has for juice making. So just continue what you're doing. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Check out darkskyvapors.ca. Link is down below. You want to check them out if you're in Canada. It's so good to be able to represent a country and just keep coming out with good juice, not chemical tasting, really nice. And as Nick would say, shake it up. You want to shake up the juice, make sure you do that before you use it. I want to thank y'all for dropping by. I know it was long, but I wanted to give it its due. 5 juices, and to get to the essence of it my way, I got to do it. So again, thank you for dropping by. I love having you over. So please stay healthy and happy vaping. Take care, folks.